got something really awesome to show you. Killzone 3 on PlayStation 3, but rather than just do a regular demo, as you can see by the glowing ping pong ball in his hand over there, we're going to show you how the game works with PlayStation Move. We're also going to get a sneak peek at a brand new trailer that nobody else has seen. I have to ask you, if you've got a camera or anything, please don't record it because it's not going out for a couple of weeks yet, but that's going to be a nice exclusive sneak peek. But there's also going to be time for audience questions afterwards, so if you've got any burning Killzone questions, get ready to raise your arm when the time comes. But for now, I'm going to pass you over to the producer of Killzone 3, Mr. Stephen Zahida.
Thank you and good morning everyone. As mentioned, I'm going to be demonstrating what Killzone 3 is going to play like with the Move controller. Now Move is, for us, it's an option. Obviously you have your dual shot lovers and there will certainly be people out there who want to play this with the Move controller. Now the way that we went about this is basically it's a lot of playtesting, figuring out what exactly how the Move needs to behave. The book hasn't been written yet on kind of the Move controls and what they would need to do. So there's a lot of invention going on, there's a lot of stuff that we have to figure out and exactly to make it work. So how do we go about that? What we've got here is a portion of the game you may have seen before. This is our E3 demo. And as you can see, basically where I point on the screen, that's where my gun is pointing as well. And as I get to the edges of the screen, you can see that the camera starts rotating, same for up and down, obviously. Now what we found is that a lot of people have different preferences on that. So how big that rectangle needs to be and what the speed is that they would like everything to move at. That's something that we have as an option in the game, so you can actually set the settings exactly to how you would like that to play. So as I start to kind of get into the gameplay here, and I see these guys off in the distance, I can just shoot at them this way, or I can use the auto lock function that is on my net controller, and that is the zoom button right there. It zooms in and automatically locks onto these enemies. Now again, this is an option. This is default on for the easy settings, but you can still switch it off as well. So I can just walk onto these enemies off in the distance and get a couple rounds into them. As you can see, obviously, the Move controller still has all of the buttons there that the normal controller has as well. So all of the buttons that you're familiar with still work, but we can do things with actual gestures as well. So there's a little icon on the screen now that indicates that I need to reload, and I can just do that by a simple twist of the wrist and it'll start reloading. And we found that this actually adds a lot to kind of the fluidity of the gameplay and making sure that you're always in there. Same for picking up weapons. There's this nice glowing weapon right here. I can walk up to that, I just pull the controller towards me and it picks it up. And now I've got this big massive minigun here, one of the new weapons in the game that I can use to pick off these enemies. By a lot of fan requests, we listen to our fan base a lot through Killzone.com, and one of the fan requests was, why can I only carry one primary weapon? I want to be able to carry more than one primary weapon. So if I now just press the D-pad, I can switch back to my M82 or switch back to my minigun. So now in Killzone 3 you can actually carry more than one primary weapon, which is a big fan request. So as I make my way down here, just switch my weapon. As I make my way down here, there's a lot of other functions that we have to look at as well for Move. So for instance, throwing a grenade, initially it made a lot of sense to implement gestures for that, kind of have everybody throw a grenade like this, like it's a natural motion, but you can see what happens on the screen is that my camera starts rotating. Actually, I don't see where my grenade lands anymore. So what we figured we do is instead, on the NavCon, I hold down the L1 button, it starts cooking my grenade, and I can aim where I want it to throw, and that actually throws it right there. And one thing that we did for Killzone 3 is we implemented not just your typical lean and peek that we have from Killzone 2, and a lot of people found that tactical gameplay really, really nice, but also the run and gun gamers, they wanted to be rewarded as well. So for Killzone 3, We implemented a very nice system there, and we call that brutal melee. And what that does is, as soon as you get up close to these enemies, so if you are to run a gun type and you want to get close to these guys, you can actually take them out in a really, really nice and brutal fashion, which is a very nice reward. And what this system does is it scans the environment for the kind of moves you're able to do. So there's a ton of different animations that you can trigger, but basically it's context sensitive. So if there's something nearby that you can take advantage of, like this cover block here, you can just bounce his head off the cover block right there. It's things like that that are really rewarding for the people who like run and gun. So as I make my way through here, again, I can just zoom in, take care of these enemies, or without the zoom, I can just fire and quickly reload, get out of the arms way by the grenade. And grab that guy. Now all the actions in the game, as I mentioned, we can also kind of use these ammo crates, but again, just pulling the controller towards me, and I can pick up things from the other crate. There we go. That's why it's alpha code right there. So that's what it's like to play with the move controller. Obviously, move controller is implemented for multiplayer as well. And right now we're going through a lot of playtesting to find out whether we can have the move players actually in the same game with DualShock players. We know that our hardcore QA guys, they've grown up with DualShock and they're very well versed in that, and they run circles around the move players. But because we now have auto lock, we need to find out if we can rebalance that and see how that works. But server side, we can still kind of figure out whether it's a good idea once we start actually rolling out the game in things like public betas, and find out if we want to separate the move players from the actual DualShock players. I think at some point it's going to turn into your snowboarders versus your skiers, whether you're a move player or whether you're a DualShock player, but there's a little bit of something for everybody right there. So this is just a brief taste of what it's like to play with the move. You'll be able to pick up the controller very soon and try it for yourselves. We've got a booth down there, downstairs with the FreeCode, same build running, except it's only with the DualShock. We'll get the move into your hands very, very soon. As mentioned, rather than just showing some gameplay which you may have seen before, we also have some stuff that you may not have seen before, which is a new trailer that we've got specifically for this event, and that is to show off some of our multiplayer gameplay. Now, some of you may have seen some multiplayer footage already, but this trailer kind of indicates a couple of maps that we've got cooking for a multiplayer side of things, and let me see if I can find that trailer right now. And it's actually, there we go.